Hi everyone, today we have a new video review, and as you can see, this time we are going to talk about fresh release from ICM. It is molded in 1/35 scale, and it is interesting because it's a combo set. So the kit number is quite simple, 35114, but we still get a vehicle together with the figurines, so it might be an interesting choice in case you would like to build a simple diorama. Just add some base and then you will be good to go. And of course I have here the commercial sample, so it means you will get exactly the same stuff if you order it, for example, from Delimex. And the kit number or kit name, let's say Krankenpanzerwagen, and as you can see it says Sd.Kfz.251 with military medical personnel. You can see them here on the box art, and the box size is standard for this brand, so here is comparison with my hand. On the side of the box you will find also some history note and information about the kit. It's written here that there are 4 figurines and 85 parts for them, and also 290 parts for the vehicle. And on the opposite side you can see also this, let's say, profiles for those figurines and also for the vehicle, but there is nothing special, and I hope that there will be more markings than what we see on the box art and on the box side. So what I'm doing now is cutting through the plastic tape, which is used in order to secure the top section of the box, which is cover printed and it's quite thin. I would say the box design is already standard for ICM, so if you had a chance to assemble any of their kits, you will be familiar here as well. And of course, for the Sd.Kfz, I reviewed other versions as well, so in case you are interested in some different type, definitely check it out. By the way, here is this top cover removed. As you can see, it's very thin and very flexible, so it's definitely not meant for protection, while this white cardboard box is something what is actually covering all of the parts, and packaging is surprisingly on the tight side, I would say. I was expecting a bit more space inside, but well, this is still something what you shouldn't be worried about, because as you can see, to me everything arrived intact, and my post is usually quite not tender with the parcels. It doesn't matter which parcels you receive, or if you have the stickers, that it's very let's say tender things inside. Okay, so let's zoom in, maybe align the cutting mat a bit, because I see it was slightly tilted. So here we start with the first gray plastic sprue, and this one will be used for the machine gun belt. And as you can see, we have it to be used in together with MG42, which is supplied here on the next plastic sprue. So this bigger plastic sprue is meant to be used with the figurines. So I would say this is more of a nice bonus from ICM, because some brands actually skip on such stuff. They just do not provide it in the standard package. You have to buy it separately, and then you have to somehow combine it together. Here you get it in the standard package, which is rather nice, and of course you will not use all of the parts at once, so some of them will stay in your spare parts box, and they can be used for the future projects as well, which is also quite nice. And the quality of these accessories, or these let's say weapons, is also quite good, so I don't think you will have any complaints about these elements. And if we are talking about the figurines, so again I remind you that there are 4 figurines, and first I will zoom out so that you can see the whole sprue. And as you can see, the overall design is somewhat what is expected from this scale, so it means we have separate legs, hands and torso. All poses are pre-shaped, so you won't be able to change much, but I don't think it's something what is problematic with the plastic figurines. And there are no alternative poses, of course, as well, so this is something to remember. Nevertheless, we get a lot of nicely sculpted features here, so if I zoom in you can see what I'm talking about, and all of this stuff looks rather nice, especially for this scale. I think it deserves a nice paintwork, and then you have a really good result. So here you could take a look closer at all of the parts, and now we just zoom out and remove this plastic sprue off the table to continue with the sprues for the Sd.Kfz, which are packed into a separate plastic bag. And here it will be quite interesting, because, well, I reviewed the previous versions as well, as I said before, so it will not be surprising to me of what parts are used here. Nevertheless, some parts I would rather replace. For example, here in this plastic bag we have the vinyl tracks and vinyl tires. In my opinion, this is not the best alternative for this kit. I saw some of the aftermarket producers already offering the really decent 3D printed upgrades, so it's your decision whether you would like to invest a bit more and then get a more convincing appearance, or maybe you are fine with such parts. That's also an option. In my opinion, this vinyl or rubber offering is really okay for a standard out-of-the-box build. Next, we continue with the hull parts. So these are the panels for the lower hull section. We even get the engine and separate suspension elements, which is really cool. And I think with the due care, you can assemble a quite nice result. Maybe if you invest a bit more time, you can try to modify this kit in order to expose the engine, because as far as I remember, the original or the standard assembly manual, it does not show you the option to assemble with open bonnet. Next, we continue with two sprues here. So these are dedicated to the drivetrain on the kit, and if I zoom in, you can see what I'm talking about here. So these are road wheels which are molded together with the rubber sections. And we even have the rifles which were placed inside this Sd.Kfz, so basically you get even more weapons in one kit. And why I'm laughing, because it's plenty of different things and it's just a matter of how you will use them on your project. And again, this is very handy for some diorama ideas or just to add more interest, more visual interest to the build. Next, we continue with another sprue here. So this one is notable because here we get some engine parts, we also get some interior parts, a lot of thin elements. So be sure to use the right tools in order to separate them and install them, because in some cases I think only tweezers will help you, but other way I don't see any other issues. Maybe it might be a good idea, but you need some references in order to replicate the wiring on this kit. So definitely check out some photos of the real vehicle. Then we continue with the large sprue, which is dedicated for more hull parts. So you get here the floor panel, for example, the sidewalls. Also we get the seats and also various medical equipment, and everything looks quite nice. Again, we have the guiding pins in all necessary spots, so it's not like the plain panels which you should combine on your own, let's say, eye measurement. But overall, I think it's a really decent design, and I don't think you have difficulty with alignment of these parts, even though it looks like a bit tricky assembly to do. And another gray plastic sprue. Here we have the top hull element, and we have the bonnet panels actually molded separately. So this is quite cool. It means that you can open those hatches and expose the engine inside, and as you remember, the engine is included, so that's also good. And in 1/35 scale, I think it's a very notable feature, because a lot of brands skip on this on 1/35 scale kits because not that many modelers actually assemble it, but it's always better to have such option. So as you can hear, I'm opening another plastic bag. Here is the clear frame. It is good that it is packed into a separate plastic bag, and here we have the a lot of clear parts, but obviously not all of them will be used, and we will need only the lenses for the headlamps and tail lights, as far as I remember. Next, we continue with the assembly manual for the figurines, and I will have to close the lenses a bit. So you can see that here is the parts map. We also have the paints chart and even the paint set, which might be handy for this assembly. And the marking guide is combined together with assembly manual, so it's printed in color. But again, it might be a good idea to find some reference photos so that you can get more ideas on how to paint the German soldiers. But it's already, I would say, some extra activity, because even this standard marking guide provides a lot of information necessary for the proper paint work. Next, we continue with the decals. So I don't know where they are printed, but as you can see, printing quality is really good. We have the separation in the necessary areas. We even have some decals for the interior here in the top area. So it's just a matter of careful application on your vehicle. And I know that some of those symbols can be replicated with the masks. For example, the crosses definitely can be replicated with masks, but it's again more of a extra activity, and it's more of a question to you whether you would like to go this way and spend a bit of extra time, or just use the decals and have approximately the same design or result. Next, we have assembly manual for Kranken Panzerwagen. This was a sole release as well, as you remember, so that's why we have we should have slightly different number here. As you can see, it's 35113, while we are reviewing 35114, and as you can see, it's in the brackets. So what we have here is the short history note on the cover. Next, we continue with a lot of red color because these parts will not be used, so pay attention which part version is used here or there, because it will be quite important, and of course it will define the overall configuration of the vehicle. But the parts count, as you remember, was not that high. And assembly process begins with the lower hull element. We have slightly different assembly configurations for markings. As you can see, it's mentioned here, so I guess it will be also mentioned on various assembly steps. Here we continue with the lower hull assembly. A lot of structural parts should be implemented in order to get the right I would say construction and connection between these elements, but overall it looks like a doable process. I don't think you have to have some special skills in order to work with this. Engine goes on the next page, and as you can see, it is installed together with the instrument panel. Then we install a bit more of a engine bay equipment, which will be hidden under the bonnet. And I'm still not sure if manufacturer will show that you can assemble the open bonnet version, because here, as you can see, the top hull panel is assembled with the closed bonnet panels. But of course, the fact that they are given as a separate parts here and here, so it means that you can open them if you would like to. Then we continue with more of the interior features on the top hull section, and then we start finally by joining them together. We assemble the suspension, which is quite, I would say, repetitive task to do, so be ready for this. And road wheels are going. The front axle is also assembled with the wheel rims combined together with the rubber tires, and tracks, as you remember, they're also rubber or vinyl if we prefer. And then we have some minor Pioneer tools and clamps, headlamps with the clear lenses, which is quite important in my opinion. And here we have the first marking option, which is in this sand colored camouflage, and another one which is in gray color. With the sand colored vehicle, I think it might be a bit tricky because you have to adapt the soldiers to this, and they were not in exact this type of uniform. And of course it will require some research behind this, but I think overall this combo looks like a quite nice combo for its price. And of course I will be happy to hear your opinion right here in the comment section below, and you can get this kit right now in the Modelimex webshop. And I will see you in the next video review. As usual, thank you for joining me today, and bye.